Okay, guys. Hi, how are you? Hey, guys. I am here. Are you guys excited? So I'm just waiting for my beautiful model Kirti to get here. So she should be here any minute. I just messaged her. She was stuck in traffic, but she said she's like a minute away. So yay, she'll be here and then we'll get started. Hi. Hi, guys. If you're from abroad like Australia or anywhere else other than Canada, let us know. I would love to know where all you guys are coming from. Okay, I see the numbers growing. You're all coming on. This is awesome. London, Canada. Yeah. Hi, Mandeep. Hi, Sahib. From Cali. Hi, how are you guys? So we had a bride this morning at 3 a.m., guys. Okay, we had a bride at 3 a.m. And sorry, that's Shannon just logging in. We had a bride at 3 a.m. So I've been like up since then, but this is my third cup of coffee, so I'm here for you guys. New Jersey, hi guys. Oh my goodness. London, more Toronto, Illinois. This is so exciting. This is so exciting. Hi guys. Okay, so the way this is gonna work is where the chat is going, and I'm gonna be reading through the chat, and Shannon is gonna be here as well. She's just logging in, and she'll be answering questions in the Q&A. So you'll see at the bottom there's a chat, and then there's a Q&A. If you have any questions at any point while I'm teaching and you want to ask right away, just ask in the Q&A. She'll be live answering them. Now, if you, in the chat, everyone could see the answers, and I will be periodically looking through there to answer them as well. But if you want to answer it right away, Q&A is where you want to be, and that's where she'll be answering the questions. Chat is lit right now. Montreal, Windsor, Ontario. This is awesome. There's Shannon. Her audio is connecting. I see.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's going good. I'm just waiting on Kirti right now, so then we'll get started. I went downstairs and I was like, okay, what lenga am I gonna put on her? Because bridal makeup. Oh, she's here. Shannon, can you handle this?
Sure. I don't know where you're going with this, but hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to our bridal class. I'm assuming that a lot of you guys, hi Jaswinder, I'm gonna be on here and answering your guys' questions in the chat. So if you didn't catch something that Harp recommended, or you need the spelling of a product, I am here to be in the Q&A chat. So I see all the participants in the chat. That's kind of a group chat. In the Q&A section is where I would like you to put in your questions. If you look at the bottom of your screen to the very right, you see a Q&A. Tap on there and put your questions in there, and I will answer all your beauty-related questions about what Harp is covering. All right, so I hope you're excited. You're gonna see the glam on our beautiful model Kirti. She's stunning, and I'm sure you guys have seen her all over our social media. She is a beautiful model.
She's beautiful inside and out. That's why I love her so much. Okay, go ahead, Kirti. Let's take a seat.
Hi, Kirti.
Hi.
There she is.
There she is. Kirti's here. We're live, and we're just looking at everyone that was logged in from Toronto, London. There's New Jersey. There's Illinois. There's California. There's Australia. So hi, guys. Hi once again. Kirti's here. We're about to start our live. As you guys can see that I am just Inception over here, Snapchatting myself. Okay.
And from Derby, UK as well.
Yeah, UK as well. So what I was saying was, before I got started, when it comes to makeup, it's kind of like when you do bridal makeup, it sometimes could look awkward if the rest of the jewelry and like the full outfit is not on. So that's why I had to go downstairs and dig through what I had just to see like what I could turn into bridal, so you guys could get the full look.
Sounds good. Okay, guys, I'm gonna just pop out of the video here. I will be in the chat. I'm gonna mute my mic unless I need to chime in and ask Harp something. So she's just gonna tie up Kirti's hair, and then we're gonna get started. Hey, Gopal.
Shannon, just give me 1 sec. I'm just gonna tie it up. If there's any questions you guys have before we get started, please ask them now.
They're like, tell us how you do the magic, Harp.
Oh, I'm about to. I'm gonna show everything.
And
So
this weekend, actually, I feel like Harp did this look on every bride requested it, and it looks so different on everyone, but the blending and everything is the set. This building of the style, the makeup style is the same for everyone. So I hope you guys are excited. This is like the most popular requested bridal style for the last year and a half.
I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not a hair artist, but you're gonna get somewhat.
I think you're doing great.
Pony here.
So everybody, if you don't have a pen and paper handy, have a pen and paper handy. If you find it easier to make little voice notes for yourself, you can do that as well. But I will be answering all the questions in the Q&A section that you guys have.
Yes, and you guys can ask in the chat as well. I could see the chat like popping up, so if it's really urgent, just go ahead and ask in there. But Kirti will keep an eye out for this as well for me, right? But Q&A is where it's at.
And someone's asking, will this be available to view after live? Guys, this is a live webinar. This is a one-time view.
We're trying to see if we can, but we're getting our tech guys to work on that for us, but like no guarantees.
Yeah. Right now, all the classes are one-time view. Perfect. Is another thing's happening today. I am retiring. Bye, guys.
And bridal.
Done. Which is, I love this because all the brides are actually doing this in the morning on their hair, so it's great.
I know. Like, did you notice, Shannon? You were just kind of like doing it. You're like, what am I gonna do now? You're like, Snapchat.
Pretty much.
It's fun, but I find that even this is hard sometimes for me to do. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly
just roll it up. Yeah, perfect. Okay, where's the Q&A, guys? If you go down, so put your mouse on your screen, just scroll it over what Harp's doing, and then you're gonna see a bar come up at the bottom, and you'll see a section called Q&A. That's where the questions go. Okay, you're not gonna see my 3 a.m. face. You're gonna see now my avatar come up. It's a really, really hot picture. I hope you're ready. And oh no, it didn't.
No avatar, just black.
No, where did my hot picture go, man? Yeah, it was gonna be too distracting, so I took it out.
Well, I just want to say thank you to everyone while I'm just doing Kirti's hair, getting it out of my way here, that signed up. Thanks, guys. This really means a lot to us. I know that a lot of you were in our Toronto class, and we were supposed to be in Calgary right now teaching, but due to COVID, we had to cancel our class, which was really sad because we really wanted to come out there. But I always feel like when one door closes, another door opens, and we wouldn't have never had this opportunity to teach online, and all these people that are tuning in from abroad, we wouldn't have been able to teach you guys. So this has been a blessing in disguise. So thank you guys so much for joining us today. All right.
Under our post on social, if you guys can put your 2 cents in what you thought of the class, that would be great. We'd appreciate the feedback for sure.
Right, if you can, as close to the camera as possible. So my beautiful model is stunning. Her name is Kirti, and she has like the most lovely features ever. But I feel like when you get a client in your chair, sometimes they're having a bad week, especially when it's a bridal week. They're not drinking their water, they've been drinking too much, they've been partying too much, and our client's skin, like even when you see them at consults, it's completely different the day of because they haven't been taking care of themselves. So it's really important to do the prepping and priming of the skin and getting rid of any kind of dehydration that they have, poofiness around the eyes. Taking care of the skin is so important, and that's what I'm going to be doing first before I start on these eyes and then her foundation. I mean, if you guys are tuning in from the base makeup that the class that I taught, the first class that I taught, I went into detail in that, and I'm so glad if you guys are tuning in from that. That was such an important class because then you'll know exactly what to do. But right now, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hydrate her face. So I'm going to treat this class like as if this is my bride sitting here like I did this morning. Okay, so Kirti, is your skin dry or oily right now? It's dry. It's dry? Okay. So Kirti has dry skin, and Kirti is also a nurse, saving lives all the time. So she constantly has to wear a mask, and because she wears a mask, all of this has really what happened to your skin? You were telling me?
It's all dry and there's rashes, and I've been breaking out.
just under, because you've been wearing double, triple masks sometimes. So that is something that, you know, unfortunately you're going to have to deal with right on the spot, but that's okay. I always tell all my clients, discoloration is not a problem. I could get rid of any discoloration. I could even cover up a tattoo, but be honest, when it comes to texture, there's not much you could do about getting rid of any kind of texture. We could get rid of the color, but the texture will always remain. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to hydrate. And remember in the first day of class, the first class that we taught, my favorite hydrating, I don't remember. My favorite hydrating cream is this Amber Lease, and you can get it at Shoppers Drug Mart. There you go. And this is a really good one just to like hydrate the skin. And though Kirti's skin looks pretty hydrated, did you put on moisturizer already? I did. Yeah, it looks pretty nice. I still am going to go ahead and hydrate it, and I'm going to go straight into the eyes. Then we're going to come back to the skin and start prepping it and then priming it before we do the foundation. The reason why I'm not going to put any kind of serums or even foundation primers or anything like that on her skin now is because when I do her eye makeup, she's going to have fallout, and I'm going to end up wiping it away anyway. So there's no point. The only thing I want to do is make sure her skin is nice and hydrated, and then we'll get right onto the eyes. I always do the eyes first, and then I do the face. Do you want some water or anything?
No, I've had enough.
Are you sure? Yeah, I have a clean glass. I brought one before you came anyways. So I'll let you know. And, do you want coffee or anything?
No.
I feel your pain. Like this bride, the last couple of days we've been working, I've been wearing those really tight masks. And Shannon, sometimes I want to rip them off, and Shannon's like, don't you dare, don't you dare. Yes. I'm like, yes, you're right. It's just hard to breathe or to do anything. I feel like I can't do my job because I'm too busy. Does it become normal after a while? Like you just are used to it?
But I know this week's been really rough.
Right. So guys, Kirti got in an accident this morning, and the poor girl still showed up.
I think it's the weather change. Like as soon as it starts raining, people are crazy on the road.
Shannon, if you're listening, she got in another accident. And I'm not laughing. I'm just like, I'm really concerned for you. Okay, so that's it. That's all I'm going to do for the eyes. We're going to come back to the face after, okay? So let's go right into the eye makeup. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to put a base down. I'm going to be using Soft Ochre by MAC. And it's this cream color. It looks like concealer, but it's a eyeshadow base. I'm just going to scrape some of my product out, and I'm going to go ahead and apply this all over her eyelids. And this is going to be the base for her eyeshadow. So what we want to do with the base, if you're taking a look, I'm taking the base and I'm going down the bridge of her nose here, and I'm also extending it a little further out. Because my eyeshadow, when I do my eyeshadow, you'll notice, I like to really go around the eye. I'm not going to have a sharp edge, so I really want to bring this product out onto her cheek. So when I do her corners of her eyeshadow here, it has something to stick to. And also right here, we do a lot of highlighting, so go ahead and take it down on the side of her nose. Once I apply this product, I like to take my finger and really rub it into the skin. This way I'm ensuring there's not too much product left on her skin. Whatever was extra came off on my hands. So sanitizing and disinfecting, I see there's a question there. I will be answering that right at the end. So after I'm done, like when I came home today, I washed my brushes quickly, but I always clean them with Cinema Secrets brush cleaner, and this cleaner is 99.99%. It kills 99.99% of bacteria, so it's not only cleaning my brushes, but it's killing the bacteria. And all of my products, as you notice, I scrape out with a spatula. I never go directly into my products. But the things like eyeshadows and things that I can't scrape out, I spray it down with 70% alcohol, which I have in a bottle, which you could get like rubbing alcohol from Shoppers Drug Mart, and you spray everything down, which you'll see me do at the end. And you'll see I'm in a habit of when I use something, I put it aside. I don't put it into my kit because then I know I have to clean it completely before I put it back into my kit. All right, so I have enough product on. I'm just gonna take my finger and rub it into her eye here, make sure that there's enough. Now this is very important. If you have too much product on, it's gonna crease. If you don't have enough product on, her eyeshadow is not gonna be vibrant. So it has to be just the right amount of product. So don't be too stingy with it and don't overdo it either because then it's just gonna crease. Okay, then I'm gonna take an eyeshadow brush. This is a Quo from Shoppers. And I'm gonna take the color Rice Paper from MAC. It looks like this. It's like almost like a bare bone color and has a little bit of shimmer, and it's called Rice Paper. What we're gonna do is we're gonna load our brush going in circles, okay? Tap off the excess. Now I'm gonna apply that right in the corner of her cheek, in her tear duct here, and we're gonna do a circle. So do a really big circle. And once you do the circle, you're gonna sweep underneath the brow. And this is called the comma highlight, okay? So even when you take future classes of mine, which I'll be doing reception look next in 2 weeks, this is when I refer to comma highlight, this is what I mean. So you're gonna go circle, sweep underneath the brow, comma highlight. And this is just the first step of highlighting for her eyes. Okay, circle, 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 sweep under the eyes. Sweep, sorry, under the eyebrows. Okay, once you're done that, you're gonna take nylon, which is also from MAC, and it's just a brighter, hold on. It's just like a brighter color than rice paper. And we're just gonna go ahead and highlight right on top of where we put the rice paper and underneath the brow, lightly, not too much. This shadow is really intense and it's almost silver looking, so you don't want to do too much of this. Okay. And don't worry if it gets all over the eyebrows. As you can see, I'm just buying the gun on her eyebrows right now. I always do brows at the end, so I'm not too worried about if there's too much product all over her face. And that's it for MAC shadows, okay? So next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna grab our Anastasia Soft Glam palette, and this is the next palette that we're gonna use. And I normally use this for my morning bridal all the time. So we're gonna take burnt orange, and we're using a fluffy crease brush, okay?
So just to pause, guys, I have a couple questions here. Harp, can you move the screen a little bit closer to you?
Yep.
How low to take the circle? You're just taking it in the ear, the tear duct. And can you show on the eye how low you took the rice paper and nylon, Harp?
Yeah, yeah.
There's scoot these a little closer.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. I can't go any closer than that because it will be touching her pretty soon.
Okay, question. If a client has a darker complexion, what alternative would you use?
Naked Lunch for highlight. I always still use like a rice paper because I think that even looks better with darker skin complexion. Yeah. But instead of nylon, I would use Naked Lunch.
Naked Lunch by MAC, guys.
Yeah, instead of nylon. But rice paper looks better on darker complexion. All right, so this is where I went. I went circle, 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 and then sweeped underneath the brow there. Just the highlight. So the crease is still there and the lid is still there. Okay, now
you're gonna add some at the end, guys. You're not gonna be done yet.
Yeah, this is just the base. You'll see I'll keep going back and adding where I need. So I have now burnt orange on a really fluffy crease brush. As you could tell, this is a pretty fluffy one. I mean, they come a lot skinnier and more tapered. I am choosing the fattest one. Why? Because I really want my crease color to be distributed like flawlessly, and I want it all over the lid. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to lift her brow first lightly and really get into that crease and start applying burnt orange in there. back and forth like a windshield wiper, all the way from the back to the front here. Not 3/4, but right up until that tear duct. My allergies are killing me, guys. Anybody else have allergies, or do you too, Kirti?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and go back and forth, windshield wiper motion. I'm almost doing little circles, like I'm going and pulling circles back, because I really wanted it to be, I want it to be blended. I don't want to see a streak, like a crease there, like a heavy line. I want it to look very diffused. Very soft. Okay. What does it say? A smaller eye. Would you do the same? Yes, I would do the same for smaller eyes as well. Actually, though Kirti looks like she has really big eyes, there's not a lot of lid space if you look. Kirti, look up. It looks like it, but she doesn't have a lot of space between from her eye to her eyebrow. I'm gonna be right back, guys. I'm just gonna wash my hands.
For smaller eyes, guys, to create this look, yeah, you would do the same. And actually, for somebody who has a smaller eye, when you do a smoky like this, it actually does make their eye look a little bit bigger.
Oh, 100%. Totally makes it look bigger. Maybe not use such a fluffy brush. Maybe use a skinnier brush, but I would use the same technique.
And what kind of shape are you making with the color? So you guys see how Harp is making little circles. She's going really far out to the left side of the eye, past the socket,
yeah.
And you're making that V to go out.
Yeah, like
can you do the name and number of the brushes? That would be super helpful.
I can, but all my numbers are completely like gone from washing them. This one is Quo. It's just a shadow crease brush. So just like a crease brush. You could use MAC if you really wanted to. It's exactly this. This one's Morphe M441. So I'm extending it further out, almost making her eye, like following her eye shape, natural eye shape, like an almond. Okay. Now I'm happy with that. It's quite intense, and I don't really care about what's happening here on the lid. I mostly just want to make sure that the highlight and the crease are nicely blended together. Now we're going to go ahead and do her lid. So on her lid, we are going to do Mulberry, this one right here, the deepest brown color here. It's almost like a red brown, like a burgundy. I'm going to load my brush, tap off my excess, and this is just a regular eyeshadow brush. It's not synthetic, it's natural bristle. I'm going to pull the eyebrow up, and now do you see where her crease is? Her natural lid crease. We're going to keep this shadow color all the way underneath the crease here, underneath that line. So I'm going to drag that brush down onto her lid. Like that. Okay, so don't worry about blending or anything like that right now. We're just applying the color. And I want it to be super rich. The reason why I want this to be dark is because the base that I did at the bottom, especially since this is bridal, I didn't do a dark base. Normally when I do a smoky eye for the reception, I would do a darker base, like with a brown base or a black. So it really is intense, and it is even darker in like pictures. But since this is in the morning, I like to do a nude base. I don't do a dark one. So I do the eyeshadow darker so it looks softer during the day. You'll notice when I take pictures of this, it won't look like she got punched in the eye like a heavy smoky. It'll be a diffused smoky. Okay.
Harp, which color is that again? Someone's asking.
Mulberry by Anastasia. I'm only going to be using Anastasia from this point on. It's the Soft Glam palette. Okay, so that's what it should look like. Scary, but great. Okay, now did you notice I didn't go too far up into her crease? I kept it all in underneath her crease, because at this point now, we are gonna take another crease brush, but something a little bit smaller, and this one is a Morphe M433. And now we're gonna take Sienna, which is this color right there, right next to the burnt orange. Tap it, and now we're gonna blend the mulberry and the burnt orange together with sienna. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go back and forth in the middle here and blend those two colors together so there's not a harsh line. It looks nice and blended. So it's dark, medium, and light shadow, like a sunrise. Do you see? It's starting to get blended. Do that on the other side as well. I'm just gonna bring my ring light closer here. And don't worry too much at this point if you feel like, okay, it's not as blended as I want it to be. I wouldn't worry too much about it, because in 5 to 10 minutes, her natural oils of her skin are going to start to release, and the shadows are going to start changing and getting a little bit lighter, and they're going to start blending by themselves. So don't freak out too much at this point, because I know in 5 minutes, this is going to look beautiful, because the shadows are going to do the job of blending themselves. Okay. Perfect. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to go straight from this point to eyeliner. At this point, I'm going to be like, okay, I like the way this looks, but for some reason, I feel like her inner corner looks a little bit too white to me. So I'm just going to take another soft crease brush here. I mean, yeah, just a crease brush. And I'm going to take this gold color called Glistening right here. And I'm going to add that right on top of that highlight to bring it back a little bit of warmth and a little bit of gold. And this way it'll match her set too, because the bridal set I'm going to put on her is gold. So we're just going to go ahead and do a circle in the tear duct here, circle on this side as well. And if you really want, you could sweep whatever's left on your brush underneath her brow, just to kind of give it that gold color. But I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and do the eyeliner. Before I do the eyeliner, I'm just going to wipe off some of the excess product so it's easier for you to see what I'm doing with the eyeliner.
Someone asked what the gold color is called.
It's called Glistening. It says it keeps going to avatar. We can't see everyone Shannon's talks. So, can you guys see me? Can you guys write in the chat if you could see me?
They can see you. It's when I talk though, they can see me. So that's why I'm not really saying much.
Okay.
And I'm trying to get Jazz to fix it.
Got it. All right, so I just wiped off some of that product there. And now we're gonna do her eye makeup. Sorry, her eyeliner. Eyeliner, I like to start off with a base of gel liner. Give me 1 sec. Okay, we're gonna start off with a gel liner. My favorite gel liner is Inglot 77, and I'm gonna use the Inglot Duraline. And the reason I use a Duraline with the gel liner is because sometimes these gel liners can dry out or they're really hard to apply. The Duraline literally just makes it like liquid. So you take 1 drop of Duraline, okay, put it on your spatula there, on your plate, and then I'm gonna take scrape some of my Duraline out and put this away. Soon as you open this and you expose it to air, it starts drying out. So you want to keep it shut all the time. I literally always just scoop out what I need and put this thing away. And then there's my Duraline, just a dot. And there's my inglot liner. And I'm just going to take my angle brush. I'm using Cinema Secrets S1217. You could use Sephora too. It's basically just a little bent brush, and I use it for liner. It's a liner brush. So I'm going to dip it into the Duraline. Now I'm using Duraline from Inglot. You could use Duraline from any product, any company. Every company has their own version of Duraline. I'm just using Inglot. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and dip my brush in Duraline, then dip my brush into my gel liner, and do you see how it just kind of made it liquidy? And it just makes it easier to apply. Then I'm going to go ahead and taper my brush back and forth on my spatula here, just to make sure that my point of my brush is nice and sharp. So when I go ahead and add this to her line, like start doing her liner with it, it's nice and sharp and it's not going to leave blob. Okay. Okay. So when we're doing eyeliner, I'm just going to get Gifty to tilt her head back. We're going to get her to help me do the liner. So when I'm doing the inner corner, I'm going to get Gifty to look in the opposite direction. So she's going to look towards the door there. When I'm going to be doing her center, I'm going to get her to look down, and that just stretches her lid completely. So it gives me more access to do her center of her lid. When I'm going to be doing the outer corner, her wing, I'm going to go ahead and get her to look towards her nose, and that will stretch out the outer corner. And that really helps me. And it gives me a break too, so I'm not overwhelmed doing her makeup and I'm not trying to get it all perfect in one go. But when you take breaks like that, it helps you to compose yourself and get a perfect line. And also, when she's moving her eye like that, it's stretching out certain areas, so you could really get in there and make a precise line. So in her tear duct, I'm going to get her to go look towards the end there. Do you see how that stretches out? So now I'm going to go ahead and do the inner corner. Pick up some more product. Okay, looking down. So looking down this way. Now I'm doing the center here. And looking towards your nose. And this is just the base. I'm going to go over this a couple times, make it thicker, make it darker. I just need a good guideline of which direction I'm going. So I'm not going to stress out too much of making this perfect right now, because we could always go over with eyeshadow as well. And if you can't get your wing perfect, that's okay. We could always use a liquid liner as well, or lit liner, to make that perfect. I love thick liner. I'm just going to make this a little bit thicker. So, sorry, can you just stare? That's great for now. That's a good start. And we'll do the other one in just one sec. Any questions so far? Do you have any recommendations of gel liners that work great other than Inglot? I don't, honestly, I just like Inglot. I mean, Makeup Forever has a good one as well, but Inglot is my favorite. I just order it online, or when I'm in Toronto, I just pick some up. I buy like 4 at a time. Okay, so when I do this eye, I usually stand on the other side, so I'll do that. Okay, looking that way. And looking down. All the way down towards your nose. So I'm gonna try to wing this as much as I can. It's the angle that I'm on, I can't really see both eyes. So hopefully they turn out symmetrical. And if they don't, then I'll teach you how to fix it.
Okay, guys, I'm going to get you to double tap on Harp's video, and it's going to allow you to pin the image, and then the screen will not go black. Really good question, Harp. How do you determine the angle? How do you get a wing that's not too high or too low?
Perfect. That's a really good question. Okay, so I'm going to come on the other side to answer that. Kirti, can you zoom in really close to the, and looking down? So do you guys see when I'm doing her liner, I'm following her lash line. There's her lash line. I'm going to go straight out. That's how I know. It almost even looks like it's not even going up. It's going straight. Like it's going to look like it's bending down. That's how I like to do my eyeliner, because when she looks up at you, it'll be perfect. It's going to be like a nice check mark. If you start going, when she's looking down, if you start going up, what's going to happen is when she opens her eyes, it's going to look like a Nike check mark, and you don't want that. You just want to follow the natural lash line straight out. And if you do it incorrectly, you could always take your makeup, sorry, what is this? A wipe, wrap it around your spatula, and then cut it, like make it perfect how you want it, and take it off, whatever you don't need. So I'm just gonna take some off here. I did like that, but I'll just take some off to show you guys how to get rid of it and add it again, okay? And then if I wasn't happy with that, I'm gonna let that dry. Just add shadow where you removed it. Quickly kind of just blend it out again, and then go over it for liner. Okay. What about droopy eyes? For droopy eyes, I don't like to do liner. You have to pretend, and when you're doing eyeliner, you have to go up to kind of, so when they open their eyes and that fold happens, you have to kind of visually keep their eye open. What I normally do with my clients is I get them to look up, and then I start with the end here, draw it on, see where I like it, especially with their eyes open, and then I get them to close it, and then I work backwards. That's what I would do with droopy eyes. Or honestly, I wouldn't even do eyeliner. I would use a really heavy lash. Our Savage lashes were designed directly for something like that. Someone with a hooded eye or droopy eyes. When you put on a Savage, the band is so thick that it looks like eyeliner. So you just put on a really heavy lash, and you don't need to do eyeliner. Okay, I'm just gonna go over it one more time to really make it dark.
Somebody wants you to repeat that all over again. Someone wants you to repeat that.
Okay, so when I'm
doing, but for the like what you're doing right now, how you're building it.
Okay, well, the liner?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna go.
Okay,
so we just wanna go ahead and follow when she's looking down. Kirti's looking down. Kirti, come right. Do you see there's her natural lash line? We're just gonna follow her natural lash line straight out. And then when Kirti looks out, it does that perfect swoop. It's, if I were to go, oh, Kirti, look down. If I were to do this and then kind of take the, like most of us have that habit of doing the liner and then going kind of up with the brush. Once you do the, come to the end here, if she were to look up, it's going to look like a Nike check mark. So always follow the lash line straight out. And this is going to take practice, guys. The eyeliner, I've been doing my own eyeliner, my friends and families, my bridal eyeliner for like since I was 16. So I have to do math now. So that's like 20 something years. So really, it takes time. Don't even worry about it. You're gonna do 5 faces and you're gonna be like, okay, I'm better at it. I feel like the more faces you do, the better you'll get at it. I mean, just start practicing on yourself and following your own lash line out. Or just grab like your mom or something and be like, don't do the rest of the face, just do eyeliner. When Shannon was practicing doing eye makeup, she would do it on her dummy, like her mannequin head. And that's a great too. So if you have a mannequin head with hair, just turn it around and start practicing eyeliner on it.
How far out do you take the eyeliner?
I like to take it, so I'll show you guys when I do the eyebrows how far I like to take it. For me, I already know I like it there. I really love to extend the eyes. The further the eyeliner goes out, the bigger her eye looks. So I really want these eyes to pop and look huge, so I'm going to take it further out. But now that doesn't mean you want to make her a Bottom dancer. Okay, there's a fine line. Normally what I do is I know where her eyebrow is going to end, and I like to stick to around that, like right where her eyebrow tapers off. That's where I like to take the eyeliner to. But I'll show you guys that closer to when I'm doing the brows because it'll be easier to explain when I'm doing eyebrows why I took my eyeliner that far out. All right, so for now, I have done the liner, okay? I'm just cleaning the excess off my brush. Any questions so far? Is it possible to- I don't get that. I put it all over the lid. Okay. Is it possible to not have the camera so orange? How do I don't get the camera so orange in the crease? Okay, so do you mean like the orange in the crease? It's not, even though it is burnt orange, I know this color says burnt orange, it doesn't really go on orange. It's more of like a light brown to me. It almost resembles soft, what is that? Shannon, what's my favorite? Oak. No. My God. Cork. Cork by MAC.
Cork by MAC.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's like a soft brown. Okay, so I'm not, uh-huh.
I was going to say this color, I know you guys think it looks orange, but when it's all done, it's so beautiful. Like it's good to have a color in the crease. Just even if it's a little bit pink or it's a little bit orange,
yeah,
it makes all the difference.
Totally. And sometimes if I don't do this, what I'll do is I'll put a soft pink in the crease. I don't like to do too many browns, especially if I'm doing a brown on the lid. I like to put a little bit. So this has a little bit of orange, but not too much. If let's say she had a lot of pink in her lenga, I would have put a soft pink in the crease, because once her natural oils start to come out and it all starts nicely blending together, it's going to look beautiful. And that light pink or that light orange, the hint of it, is going to make her eyes look even lighter. Like this weekend, I did this same look on two brides, but it looked completely different on them just because of the way that their natural oils came out. It changed the color on it. On them both. So you'll see when we post the pictures, it's the same color, same thing I did on Keithy today, but it's going to look so different on everybody.
How do you deal with watery eyes?
It's a pain, but you just have to do it. I shut off the ring light sometimes and just let their eyes breathe. I give a tissue to my clients or my brides, and then I get them, just if you feel the water coming out, just catch it right at the tear duct. So we kind of do that. But you just if you do the eyeshadows first, you avoid that. That's why I always do eye makeup first, because I never know when someone is going to water. If I were to do the full face right now when I did her baking and she starts to water and a tear goes down, that's going to ruin my face, especially if a tear goes on top of baking. You cannot get rid of it. That tear is now always going to show. So that's why I do face last. So even if she does water, I'm not stressing out. Like, go ahead, I'll get the water all you want. I don't really care, because I'm not done your face. I'm just done your makeup. Then I'll just wait for her eyes to calm down, shut off the ring light, and work on the rest of the face.
Which soft pink eyeshadow would you use?
You could use any, to be honest, but there's this in the new nude palette by Huda. This is a really nice one. It's called Trickle. Secret's a nice one. Like anything with a little bit of soft pink. Even this one, base. Okay, so moving on, guys. Now we're gonna do her face, and I'm not done the eyes yet, but I want to work on the face, and then we'll come back and finish the eyes towards the end. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, she said that she was oily, I'm dry skinned, so we're gonna now use a primer that's gonna prevent her from getting super dry throughout the day. So my favorite primer for that, the moisturizer is already on, so my favorite primer for that is Smashbox. And this is, it says it's a primer, foundation primer, and a moisturizing hydrating primer in one, but I don't use it for foundation priming. I'll still use a different primer for that. This primer right here, it's only to ensure that her skin stays nice and hydrated throughout the entire day, so you don't get blotchy dryness, especially around the mouth. If someone has really dry skin, this will help prevent that. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this, a good coat of it everywhere where I feel like she's gonna be dry. So her forehead, around the nose, around the lips, on the cheeks, where she needs the most hydration. And I'm gonna let this sit here for a minute or two to really absorb into the skin. Now, if she was oily skin, I would use an oil control primer, which a really good one is Neostrata. It's called mattifying fluid. Okay, that one would be good for oil control, but we're doing, and we covered all of that last week as well. If you missed that one, that was a great class. We're working on getting it on recorded, because I think it is recorded, and then you could even probably, we'll see if we could put a series of them out. Okay, so once that's all on her skin, I'm just gonna let this sit for a minute. What is the name of this primer? This one is Smashbox. It's called Primerize. It's just by Smashbox. And it says it's a 2-in-1, but this is like using a 2-in-1 shampoo. You still need a conditioner, so that's why, like, just use this just to hydrate, and now use a foundation primer after. My favorite foundation primer is Smashbox Photo Finish. This one you could get at Shoppers Drug Mart as well. I've used so many. I have Hourglass, I have Tarte, I've tried them all. I always come back to this one. It's my favorite. A good dupe for this one is NYX. Their Photo Finish primer is exactly the same, but it's $12 versus $50. I'm gonna go ahead and apply about a penny size all over the face. And this basically just makes the skin have like a flawless finish, so the foundation could go on it evenly. It gets rid of any kind of fine lines. It has like a silicone texture to it. You don't want to use too much of this stuff because the skin will absorb what it needs. Everything extra is just going to sit on the surface of the skin, and then it almost pills. When you put on foundation, you'll start to see little balls forming, and that just basically means you use too much of this stuff. So not too much, just enough product.
You said your mic went low. It's hard to hear.
Oh. Is it still hard to hear, guys? Is that better? What about neck? I am doing neck as well. Yeah. When we're doing bridal, I would do basically anywhere that's exposed. So you'll see I'm going to do foundation on the ears, on the back of the neck. Anything that's exposed, I'm going to do. Can you guys hear me? What primer am I using? I'm using Photo Finish by Smashbox.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. All right, so after I'm done that, I'm going to go ahead and now color correct. How do you know what color corrector to use? I want to show you guys the color corrector wheel. So most of us South Asians, I always use orange because that's the color that, you know, is the one that is our problem area. So let's say if she has redness or broken capillaries, rosacea, or acne, and it's not acne scarring, that's different, but active acne, which is red. So you're gonna go to your color wheel, and the problem you have is red. So you're gonna go directly across from it, and it says it's green. So that's the color corrector you're gonna use. So if your problem is red, you're gonna use a green color corrector. Let's say if you have acne scarring now, like which is changed and now it's like a dark brown bluish color tone, even underneath the eyes or around the mouth, it's really dark tone. So like the darkest is blue here. You have a dark, like a blue undertone underneath the eyes. You go directly across from it. The color corrector you're going to use is orange. So if you ever are not certain of what color corrector to use, pull out a color wheel and it'll tell you exactly which one. You just go to the opposite of the problem and that's the solution. Okay, so I'm going to use my color corrector today. My favorite color correctors are by Vasanti and True Fiction. Vasanti has a great one, and this is called V2 Liquid. And True Fiction, this one is just their orange color corrector, and this one will cover up tattoos. You can get this at Funk and Frost or at Save On Foods. Sad news, guys. Funk and Frost closed in Guildford Mall. Yeah, sad because of COVID. Do you need to answer it?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay. I'm just going to use this one, True Fiction, because it's super dark and it'll show better on camera. So I'm just going to go ahead and squeeze some of this stuff out. A little goes a very long way. That's all I need. Okay, so I'm gonna grab just a concealer brush and I'm gonna get Kirti to look up. What color is that? It's just orange. I'm gonna apply some of this underneath her eyes. Orange Color Corrector by True Fiction. And here she has some scarring. It's not active acne, but it's just scarring. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply some of that on her scarring there. I'm gonna go around her mouth. I'm using a good amount. And around under her eyes again. This side, keep it perfect. And just blend this into the skin now. So there's no harsh lines. It's just kind of diffused into the skin. Blended. Do that. And you don't want to use too much of this stuff, because if there's too much liquid form sitting here that's colored orange, what's going to happen when I try to go cover this up? The orange is just going to mix in with the foundation and the concealer, and it's just going to change the foundation color to orange. So she's just going to look like an Oompa Loompa, like she'll look super orange. We don't want that. We want this to just be, the job of the color corrector is not to cover up the discoloration, it's only to camouflage. So don't use too much of it thinking, oh, I can still see dark, so I don't have enough. No, you just want to camouflage. What's going to cover it up is the concealer and the foundation. Okay. For gray dark circles, same, you would use orange. All right. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do her foundation. For her foundation, because she's dry skin, I could use NARS. It would work great for her. NARS really gives a hydrating finish. Or I could use Huda Beauty. Huda Beauty is amazing for oily skin and dry skin, but it's full coverage. Because I want to cover there's some discoloration happening here. I really want to cover all that up. I'm going to use Huda Beauty today. However, let's say if she was oily, I would probably prefer to use Estee Lauder Double Wear on her. For oily skin and you want full coverage, Estee Lauder is an amazing foundation. So I'm going to use, how do you determine what shades? I'm not going to go too far into this. This was covered in first class base makeup, but basically you're going to pick 3 shades that are closest to her skin tone. You're going to put a pump of each onto a palette. Then you're going to do a swatch on her cheek here and see which one is the closest. The one that's the closest to her, I would go 1 shade lighter, especially if you know that the client oxidizes. Most of us South Asians, as our skin releases oil, we get 1 shade darker. So don't use the exact shade, always go 1 shade lighter. So when she does oxidize, it is her actual skin tone. You don't want to go 2 shades lighter because then she's going to look gray. So it's a very fine line. I'm thinking she is somewhere between Butter Pecan and Amorati. I'm going to start with Amorati and see how that goes. I already have my beauty blenders soaked and cleaned and doubled in size. So you want to take your beauty blender, these are our POS ones, and you just want to run it under water and squeeze out any excess. There's nothing coming out of this, but it is very damp. 2 pumps of Amorati right onto the blender. What? No, sorry, this is Butter Pecan. Okay, that looks like a good shade. So I'm just going to go ahead and start buffing this into the skin and lightly. I don't want to, you notice how I didn't take a kabuki brush and start buffing it into the skin? I noticed when I used to do that, I would move the color corrector around. So now the color corrector is moved completely and now you could see the discoloration. Why I like to use a blender and really pat and push the product into the skin is because now I'm not moving the color corrector underneath away. It's actually staying where it's supposed to. We're gonna do the nose and just take whatever we have and blend this from the center out. So on the ears, behind the ear, the nape of the neck here, and start pulling that product down.
What was the color of the foundation?
It's called Butter Pecan. Can you look this way for me, Keithy? So how long have you been modeling, Keithy? I already know the answer to this, but
Oh my gosh, I have no idea.
since like 2011, right?
No.
No? Oh, actually, no, because
20,
you started doing it after Cameron, so 2014.
2013?
Okay.
2012, 2013? Yeah.
What made you get into modeling?
Oh, it was just random. It was actually one of your students.
Really?
Yeah, she was like one of your students. I think I modeled for her first, and then
In our class.
yeah, she took your class.
And then did I see you and I was like, you're mine?
I probably
I usually do that. I'm sorry, models. My students will bring in models and I'm like, I steal them. I'm a mean lady.
It's been so long. Oh my gosh.
And then you went into like the fashion world, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna do another pump, a very small pump. And this I'm gonna do for the forehead and the rest of the décolletage area.
What were the 3 shades of the foundation, or 3 NARS?
NARS, she would probably be like Santa Fe, maybe? One shade darker than Punjab, whatever that is. I know that for sure. I think it's Santa Fe in NARS.
Stromboli.
Stromboli, yeah, that's the one.
What are the other 2 that you recommend that they get? Stromboli, Punjab, pretty light.
Punjab and Santa Fe. I use Punjab quite a bit. I'm Punjab.
Yeah, so Santa Fe, Stromboli, and
Punjab.
Punjab.
Those are the 3 that I use the most. In Huda, I use Latte, Butter Pecan, and Amorati.
Would you cover up the under eye completely? No, not completely, guys.
No, I'm just kind of going, but I'm not covering it out completely. The reason why I don't like to go over this with foundation, because I already know I'm going to go ahead and put concealer underneath there. Underneath the eyes, we want to keep the least amount of products because it's the thinnest amount of skin is underneath the eyes. Now, if I do, like we have moisturizer, we have primers, 2 primers, we have color corrector, then foundation, then concealer, then powder, then baking. There's so much underneath the eyes, and all that fine lines is just going to bring it out more. So the least amount of products we could put on there, get rid of them. So foundation, we really don't need to, because concealer, we're going to do that with the concealer, so don't bother with foundation. I mean, I took it up there a little bit only to blend it in, but not really to cover up. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take concealer and do her under eyes. And mind you guys, I would take this, do this a little bit more on bridal, all the way down. And I already know I'm going to have a huge set here, so don't worry too much about this, but and this will be covered with the blouse. Just want to get it all the way here.
What was the NARS shade?
NARS was Punjab, Stromboli, and Santa Fe.
Okay. If you have large pores, what primer is good?
You could use a pore filler. Professional has a great line, and use a pore filler before you do the foundation primer, the Smashbox. And a pore filler is just like a putty, and all it does, it fills in the pores and kind of fills it in so it's less noticeable. It minimizes the appearance, but it doesn't get rid of the pores, unfortunately. NARS has a really good one as well, pore filler, and it's fraction of the price. So I'm using shade medium in Tarte Shape Tape. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and take a lip wand and do a triangle underneath the eye here. And that's the amount of concealer that I use and where I apply it. Right there, right towards the hairline. Right down towards the lip. So a triangle on her chin here to give her a little bit of highlight, on her Cupid's bow, down the bridge of her nose, highlight, and then a little triangle or like a little half circle right there. If you guys want, take a screenshot of that, but that's about where I put it. Now, if there's any additional cover up that I need, like any spot treatment, go ahead and spot treat as well. At this point, that's when I would do it. I'm just gonna go wash my hands because I blew my nose. I'll be right back.
So the Shape Tape is a concealer that Harp's using, and it's probably the best concealer in our opinion on the market. So do invest in that. MAC foundations you can use. It's all up to you guys when it comes to your preference. The Pro Longer concealers from MAC are really good, and also the liquid foundation that has the SPF that has good coverage as well. So you're gonna find that you're gonna find your favorites. Also, I really like, for oily skin, I love the Fenty foundation as well. It's really good and it's super, super pigmented. So I would get you guys to have a few different ones. Like the NARS Luminous one. NARS is good for dry skin. You should have something like an Estee Lauder in your kit, or Fenty for oily skin, because you're going to need different foundations for different skin types. And there are three, that one's just medium in Shape Tape. The shade is actually called medium.
It's the one that I use the most. It's quite universal. Medium, medium light, and sand, medium sand. Those three are the ones I use the most. I like to, when I put on my concealer, let it sit there for a minute. Like, I'm glad I went to go wash my hands, because even when I do concealer, when it's super liquidy and moving around, I like to let it sit there for like a minute or two so it starts to harden, and that's when I go in and start blending it out. So it really sticks and stays, and most of it doesn't come back off on my blender.
What's the company for Shape Tape?
Art. See how it's kind of giving her that highlight? And that's as light as I'm gonna go on Cutie. I mean, accidentally got rid of her wingtip there. It's totally fine. Don't freak out if that happens. I do that all the time. You just have to go over it again. Just have to be very careful when you're doing this.
How high do you take the concealer under the eye?
All the way to the liner and all the way to the tear duct, like right to her actual lash line.
So guys, while I was talking, Harp is just patting the foundation in place. Harp, can you stop for a sec?
Yep.
Kirti, I'm going to get you to answer the questions from now on, because the students are complaining, like when the screen goes back, they think black, they think they're missing something that you're doing. So I'm going to just shut off my mic now, and if you can see the questions up on your screen. If you could answer them and read them out to Harp, that would be great. I'll still be here though.
Okay. What corrector did you use again? Orange by True Fiction. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pat all that. Once I'm done, I'm happy with that. I know it looks a little bit light. As I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, that looks light. But when I'm looking at her in real life, it's perfect. She looks nice and golden. So I know it's gonna be fine in about 30 minutes when all this starts to, her skin starts to oxidize. But at this point, let's say if you went too light, I'm gonna go ahead and set her foundation with powder. Instead of using a medium color powder, you could even use a medium dark. So to kind of offset it, use a darker powder. So I do have medium, and that's what I normally use on Kirti. I'm going to use medium plus, which is one shade darker, just to start the oxidizing process a little bit. So this one is one of my favorite powders. It's Mineralized Skin Finish. And I'm going to go ahead and set her eyes underneath with this before I bake. Okay, and this is medium plus. See how it kind of toned it right down? So I'm setting underneath her eyes. And then I'm going to take a big fluffy face brush and just set the rest of her face.
What was the name of the powder?
Mineralized Skin Finish, and this is shade medium plus.
And it's from MAC.
MAC, yeah. How high do you take the concealer under the eye? All the way up to the lash line. So anywhere you put liquid, you have to set it with the powder.
What shape are we making with the concealer if it's going upward to create
Triangle.
a cat eye?
A triangle. Okay, so once that's done, okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do her powder contour. I've skipped cream contour altogether now on my clients, and I go straight into powder. I like the look of powder, and that's what I did this whole weekend and this entire year and last year. So I'm going to do the same today. I'm using Kat Von D contour palette. Do you get flashback from MAC products? No, the only MAC product that gives me flashback is their translucent powder, and it's a white powder. I never use that. That's the only thing that gives me flashback, but nothing else that MAC does. So first thing we're going to use is use a small tapered brush. This is by MAC, brush 224S, and I'm going to go ahead and contour her nose. So when you're doing the contouring of the nose, you want to take two parallel lines straight down on either side of the nose. The closer the lines are together, the skinnier her nose looks. The further apart they are, the fatter her nose looks. So I don't want to go on the sides of the nose. I want to go right on the top here, doing two parallel lines, quite close to one another, so her nose looks nice and snatched. And this goes for everyone. So two straight lines all the way down. And then a little bit at the bottom here, just to kind of get rid of the tip. I'm using the medium color, the one in the middle. Now, how do you determine what contour to use? I always stick with the medium color, the one in the middle. That's normally for South Asians, but you normally want to just use a shade that they would be if they were tan. So just 2 to 3 shades darker than their actual skin tone. Make a kissy face for me. So I'm going to go looking that way. I'm going to go from the top of the ear here, not in the middle, but the top of the ear. And I'm going to draw a line towards her nose and her lip. I want to end up somewhere in the middle. That's usually my indication of how much contour I want to do. So right there. And I want to concentrate most of the contour right up there. I don't want to go all the way to the bottom, just halfway point. Now I'm going to go from behind the ear down the jaw, just giving her a beautiful jawline here, but from behind the ear, okay? That way it's hidden. Let's do the other side. Behind the jaw, ear here, down on the jaw, and pull that product down as well. We don't want to see a harsh line. We want it to be all blended down the neck. And then right there at the top. I feel like once you start to contour, your model's gonna start to come to life again. Okay, I'm just gonna do the temples of her forehead here. And I don't want to, Kirti doesn't have much, too big of a forehead, so I don't want to do too much up here. I just want to center, do the contouring just on the temples here to bring an oval shape to her face. Elongate her face. You have such nice cheekbones. Thanks. It's so high.
My mom does too.
Beautiful. I guess because I'm never this high up that I don't get to see that angle. I'm like, dang.
What brush are you using?
I'm just using a Sephora contouring brush, and that's all it says. It says Sephora contouring. Oh, 47, 74.
For face powder, what do you say about NARS or RCMA?
I tried NARS, it's okay. RCMA, I'm not too much of a fan. I always go right back to Mineralized Skin Finish by MAC. Okay, now we're gonna do her underneath her eyes. We're gonna bake, and I am going to use Banana by Huda Beauty. Okay, we're just using Huda Beauty. And I am just gonna take my blender here, pick up the product, and stamp underneath her eye. Okay, and I do this after I do powder contouring. Okay, we're gonna go around her mouth. This stuff smells so much.
Mm-hmm. Any other powder than Huda?
Yeah, Estee Lauder. No, Laura Mercier translucent powder is my favorite, but sometimes it can make people look too white. So if she was a little bit lighter complexion, I would use that. Like on myself, I use that. But for Kirti, she's more like a golden olive color, so I want to use this Banana.
Can you use the yellow powder in the Kat Von D kit?
You do that, but that I use after, not for baking. I'll show you when I use that. That's my finishing product. Okay, so when she looks like a poot, we're done. Okay, so I'm gonna let this sit here for like a second. What is the powder shade? It's called Banana. Mineralized Skin Finish in MAC, I would get light, medium, and dark if you want 3. But the ones that I use the most are light plus, medium, and medium plus. Okay. What are the 3 shades in Estee Lauder? I used to have Estee Lauder in my kit when it was stolen. I don't have it in my kit right now because I feel like, honestly, I would rather use Huda Beauty because I have that in my kit and they're both very similar to me. So I can't tell you what shades they are, but I remember it was N3, N2, and N4. Like 2, 3, and 4 were the ones that I used the most. What was your beauty blender wet? Yes, it was, and I squeezed out all the excess water. Would you use powder on your cheeks to contour? I did use powder on the cheeks to contour. Where? Okay, right here. That's it. And then the rest I'm gonna bronze. Shannon, can you get rid of the questions I've already answered? My mouse says I just don't know where it is. Okay. The client has very dry skin underneath the eyes. Will you bake? Yes. If the client has very dry skin underneath the eyes, I still bake, but not for this long. I start wiping away. Okay, so now that's as much as I would bake around the face. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe all of that off. So that was about a minute. The reason why I baked around the mouth is because of the smile lines. I want to get rid of those. On the forehead, I don't want her to sweat or get oily or shiny. Nose, get rid of it.
Why did you bake?
Why do I bake? Okay, I'll explain that in a sec. So the reason we bake, it's a term that it comes from the transgender community, and when men did drag, they would refer to them when you wear that much makeup, cake face. So when you were baking underneath the eyes, it kind of goes in terms, like it relates to the cake on the face. So basically baking, what it does is when you put powder on top of your concealer, our body releases heat. So what it's doing is when the skin is releasing heat, it's getting trapped between the powder. It's not releasing, it's getting trapped. So whatever's in between the powder, which is the concealer, is baking. That's all it's doing. It's setting your concealer so it bakes and it lasts longer. It's just trapping the heat. That's all it's doing. The longer you keep the powder on, the longer the baking is going to be, the longer that's when it's going to look more dry. So if someone is really dry underneath the eyes, don't do a 5-minute bake, do like a minute bake.
What brand is the banana baking powder?
Huda Beauty.
Would you use baking powder on the cheeks where you contoured?
No, I just did right here lightly just to kind of give you a glow, but that's it. Okay, once I'm done that, guys, I'm gonna wipe off under the eyes pretty soon here, so I have to move forward. Underneath, we're gonna start doing her eye makeup. So I like to finish her eyes underneath before I wipe off the baking, because if anything falls now, when I wipe off the baking will take it. So we're gonna take the color Mulberry, the one that we used on the lid, and we're gonna apply that to her lower lash line, front to back. All the way to her tear duct. I'm really gonna drag that product down. Okay, that's what it looks like. So you've attached the eyeshadow from the top to the bottom. I did bake the lap lines as well, and just so it she doesn't crease as fast.
What brush are you using?
I'm using a MAC 219S. It's a pencil brush by MAC. Very small. Okay, so the further you go down, the smokier it's gonna look. I really love pulling the product heavy underneath the eyes. I love a good smoky eye. But some clients don't. The one that I had today wanted me to use nothing. Like, she was very adamant. My bride this morning hates shadow underneath her eyes, no shadow, and we did the same look with no shadow. It looked great. It suited her. But if your client has no preference and she could pull off shadow, the more you go underneath the eye, the bigger her eye looks. So now I'm going to take burnt orange, and I'm just going to go underneath that dark brown color, just like we did at the top. So whatever we do at the top, we repeat at the bottom. So we did burnt orange, and then we did Mulberry. Now we're going to do Mulberry closest to the eye, and then burnt orange. Same thing. Round it all off. I'm going to go really close and just show them. Thoughts on Laura Mercier loose powder? I only like the translucent powder. I love their translucent powder. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to remove the baking because we don't want to keep it underneath the eyes for too long. Okay. Let's do her eyebrows, and then we'll come back and finish the liner and all that. Eyebrows are super, it's all preference. I think eyebrows are the one thing that my clients are very picky about. Everyone has a preference on how they like their eyebrows, and they're going to tell you right away whether they like it thick, or thin, or not too much. One second, I'm just looking for my.
How far in do you go with shadow under the eyes?
Huh? Oh, all the way to the tear duct. Okay, so brows. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna wipe off, brush off all the hair up and wipe off any product that's on your brows, okay? Now, the universal brow shape that suits everybody. Now, that doesn't mean that we're gonna try to mimic this on everybody, but try to keep this shape in mind. Not everybody has perfect brows and that's okay, but as long as you have this diagram in the back of your head when you're doing someone's brows, it will make your life a lot easier. So from the tip of the nose, okay, everyone listen, let's focus. All right, from the tip of the nose, you're gonna go straight up with your pencil. That's where your eyebrow should start. So tip of the nose, okay? Not the center of the nose, but tip of the nose straight up. That's where your eyebrow should start. Now, her end of her eye, not where the pupil ends, but where the eye ends, if you go straight up, that's where the arch should fall. Do you see? Her arch naturally is here. Her arch should be there. So I know mentally when I'm doing this, I'm going to pull her arch out just a bit. From the tip of the nose to the end of the eye, that's where her brow should end. That's usually the diagram, okay? So straight up, eyebrow starts, end of the eye, straight up, that's where the arch should be. Tip of the nose, end of the eye, that's where the eyebrow should end. Now keep that in mind when doing your client's brows. So if you have to mimic the arch to move it back or forth, you can do so, but as long as you know, okay, that's where my arch should fall, so let's pull that brow out, you'll start to get a great shape, and you do that on both sides. So I'm gonna go ahead and lightly just pencil hers in underneath here and pull the product up. I'm not about heavy brows. I never used to use pencils or gels. I used to use shadows for the longest time. This is by Benefit and it's shade number 4. This is the only brow pencil that I found that kind of resembles a powdered look. And it's easy to use. And I find that it's not so harsh. So I start off with this and then I'll go top it up with powder if I have to. So this is by Benefit, shade 4. Do you see how I'm creating that tip there? Creating a false arch and then back down. So that's how much of an arch I'm going to draw in, okay? Kind of brush that product out. Okay, that's one brow. Now we're going to do the other brow, okay? And I'm not done the front completely. I'm going to do that with shadow. So doing one brow is easy. Now making the second one look like that one, it's going to be a little bit of a challenge. I'm going to try to see if I could, oh, sorry, do it through the camera here. Do I prefer pencil? I prefer pencil and I prefer shadow. I like both, to be honest with you. And I usually do use both, and I'll show you after this. I just shape it out with this, and then I go directly to my shadow. Okay, and now let's go do the shadow. And my favorite shadow is Anastasia Dual Powder Finish, and this one is medium brown. So I'm going to use the light brown color here, and I'm just going to go ahead and start shadowing in her brows. And this is a little hard for me to do standing on the side here, Normally I'm in front of my client so I could see both brows, but I could only see one at a time right now. So don't mind me, this might take me a little bit longer. Let's see. Is it showing up in the camera, guys? Can you guys see what I'm doing? I just need yeses in the chat or no. Yes. Okay, perfect. So happy with this brow. I want to show everyone this brow. I'm happy with the way it looks. It's perfect. It looks nice. It's a little intense. I get it, but I still have fake lashes. I still have so much more work to do. So now I have to make the other brow look like that. Okay. Just getting rid of some of that arch there. Okay. All right, I'm happy with that. We could always come back. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to keep moving on because sometimes I feel like I just focus on something too much. And then I'm like, oh, there goes my time and it's almost 1:30. Okay, so I'm happy with the way that looks. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and finish off her eyes. I'm going to do gel liner, this liquid liner on her tips here to get them super precise. I'm just going to get Kirti to look down, looking that way. And I'm not touching her eye, I'm just going right above her lash line with this liquid liner. And this just helps me now make this waterproof and really gives me a precise tip wing here. I'm gonna do that on this side too. Looking towards your nose, Kirti. Can I see you looking at me? Okay, looking down. All right. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do nude in the waterline for Kirti. I'm gonna use Pink Orchid Studio birthday suit. Lip liner. It's waterproof. It's our Pink Orchid Studio lip liner. Okay, so I'm doing birthday suit. The trick with doing water lines, especially when you're doing white or nude, is to warm up the pencil. Normally what I do is I warm it up on my finger like this, and I pull with that same finger down on her waterline to really pull out. So this way her waterline sticks out for me. So I'm not touching her eye, I'm not aggravating her eye, I'm not poking her eye. I'm really pulling that out. And if it gets a little tough for me to do, I put it back on my finger like that, warm it up. And sometimes there's some eyeshadow that's fallen in the waterline, and when you put your nude pencil on, it gets like muddy, and now the nude pencil's almost looking gray. That's why I always like to go wipe off the excess shadow that's on top of here and then clean it up and wipe. So use your finger to do that. Do you see how bright that is? Eyeliner brand was Lit Liner, and this is Birthday Suit by Pink Orchid Studio. What shape to make in front of the brow? It depends on your clients. My clients usually tell me either they like it rounded or square. I kind of like it like a semi-square. I don't like it too harsh. I like it more natural. She had quite a square already happening, so we just kind of followed that. And when you're doing this, I suggest you shut off your ring light if your client waters a lot. Because then when they're staring at the ring light and you're doing their water line, it's a little hard. They start to water. All right, so keep these starting to come to life. We're just gonna go ahead and curl her lashes now. So I'm gonna take my thumb, make sure it's clean, no liner or anything on it, pull up on the lash, stick her lash in. Once you pull up on the lash like that, it's really easy to curl their lashes. Before you give it a pinch, I'm gonna ask you, am I pinching you? Okay, then you give it a good pump. But ask first before you clamp down on that. So pull up the lid again, that lifts the lashes. And then you just ask, am I pinching you? Give it a good pump. But pulling up on the lash like that, it just kind of pulls the lashes out. So it's easier for you to get them all curled.
What brow powder shades do you use the most?
I only have that one by Shape Tape. By Anastasia, and it's brown. I have the full one as well that has every single one that she has. I never use it. I always use this.
Would you put black in the waterline?
Yes, depending on your client. With this look, nude, especially with like a red lip, nude really looks good, or with a nude lip. In the morning, I like to stick with nudes. Black, I like to save for night. I'm just using a waterproof mascara. Voluminous is a good one. I'm using Lancome waterproof. Make sure it's waterproof because you don't want this to run because she is going to do a dolly. Now, the point of doing mascara, honestly, is just so you clean out any eyeshadow that's on the lash line and any of the fallout. So don't worry too much about lengthening, separating, any of that, volumizing. I just want to get rid of any fallout that has fallen from the eyeshadow off. Okay. Again, we're going to do that. So I'm taking the mascara wand and I'm just kind of sweeping all of that powder off. Okay. Okay, and look up for me, and I'm going to do the lower lash line as well. On both sides. Sorry. Just gotta really get our lower lashes there. Okay, once you've done that, now we're gonna pick a lash. Normally in the morning, it all depends. A thicker lash gets rid of the whole, like obviously if it's a fuller lash, it's gonna get rid of all that lid, the liner, all that work that you did. So I like to use a really fluffy, fluttery lash. It's always either Trophy Wives are our number one. I also like cotton candy too. I don't know. Let's see. I'll ask you guys, okay? This one's a really pretty lash. Cotton Candy by Pink Orchid. Tell me if you guys like this. This one's a really pretty for the morning. I've always liked this one, Kirti, too. What do you guys think? That's pretty, right? Looking up. Do you guys like that? Do I do lower lashes? Yes. Let's see, Kirti. Okay, I'm gonna see what Trophy Wives look like, okay?
What are some good waterproof mascaras for sensitive eyes?
Waterproof mascaras. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick from here. This is waterproof mascaras for sensitive eyes is L'Oreal. Voluminous is a great one. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do Trophy Wife, which is right there. Now, if you are a bridal artist, this is so amazing. I only carry this or that one with me, and I kind of pick my lashes. I usually give it to my clients to say, which one do you want to try on? Which one do you like? Do you think you prefer? And most of the time they just kind of pick. But this is an awesome artist palette. That's kind of why we made it, was for artists. So then they have a variation of everything. You don't have to carry so many boxes. You just have one to go. Okay, so I'm going to try Trophy Wife. And they are right. I was like, that looks like Princess, but it was Princess. Right. On that side. See? Can you guys pick Trophy Wife or Cotton Candy? Trophy Wife or Cotton Candy? Which one do you like, Ruthie?
I kind of like this
That one?
Yeah.
Cotton candy today for sure.
Okay.
They make your eye look bigger today.
Yeah. See, like, because cotton candy is a little bit lighter of a lash. So, like, normally where I would use Trophy Wife is an amazing one, but for her, this looks good. So that's why it's always good to have one of these around. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut. If you look at mink lashes, they have a little knot here in the front and in the back. You just want to cut that. That's where they sew the ends of the lash. So I want to cut that. We don't need that. And then you want to cut to see if this even fits your eye. If it's too long, you always want to cut from the back end of the lash. This one fits your eye perfectly. So we're going to go ahead and glue that down. I like to use MAC Duo lash glue.
I think they mean what about eye shapes for lashes?
Yeah, I'll get to that in just 1 second. Okay, eye shapes. If you have a hooded eye, a heavier, like a denser lash is better. So for example, Savage is what I mean by denser. Then you don't have to even do eyeliner. You stick one of these on and it gives the illusion of an eyeliner and it lifts up their eye a lot more. Someone with an almond eye can handle a tapered lash, which means it's longer at the end because it elongates their eye. If you want your eye to look fuller and bigger, you want to use Trophy Wives or something like Lover's Lane or even Full Cake that are longer in the middle. So the longer the lash is in the middle, so shorter length is the most in the middle, it makes your eye look bigger because it opens it up more. And Cotton Candy, their length is towards the center, towards the outer corner. So it's mostly in the middle and the outer corner. It's a perfect combination of both. So I'm using black Paint On Duo. That's what it looks like. And I'm just the trick of doing lashes is you just want this glue to get nice and tacky. So about 30 seconds, you just want to do this. Once it starts to get super sticky, like you'll see it kind of changing color, then you know, okay, I gotta use that on my eye and it sticks right on it. Almost as like a magnet. As soon as you go towards the skin, it just sticks right on. Can you hold that for me and I'll line the other one? Any other questions, guys, while I'm doing this? Lash related? Yeah. Okay, just gonna put glue on the other. Just painting it on the band there. The one that comes with the brush is super easy and it's latex free and it dries fast. I'll give you this one to hold. And now I'm going to do this right onto the eye. How long does it typically do? I could do it in an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. Which glue? Duo. Black tape on. What pencil did you use for the tear line? Pink Orchid Studio Water, the nude one, birthday suit. So just bend the lash so it has a nice curve to it. Get your client to not close their eyes. That's another thing. Never get your clients to close their eyes, but always looking down. Look down, but not close. Once their eyes are closed and you stick this on, as soon as they open, their eye contracts, it opens up, and it's going to start lifting from the corner. So if they're looking down, it's the best way. You grab the lash and you literally go from the inner corner, inner corner to the outer corner like that, and it stays. If you make a mistake like I did, I got stuck to my finger there, don't panic too much. What we're going to do is we're just going to try to wipe that off and then go over it with shadow. Not too big of a deal. We could scratch that off. Just going to take a spoolie here and scratch some of that product off. Okay, and then go over it with some brown eyeshadow. Gone. Okay, and there you go. Super easy. Once it's nice and dry, it should go right on. Again, let's do the other one. Eye, looking down, attach it in the center there, grab the outer corner, and then the inner corner, push down on the corners, and it's on. They're really easy. Okay, so now let's go ahead and start finishing up this look. I'm gonna do bronzer all over her face. Not all over, but the perimeter of her face. Okay, so the bronzer I'm using is Vasanti Brazilian Tan. It's one of my favorite bronzers. You could get this at Shoppers. Okay, just gonna grab, this is a Morphe E4 brush. It's kind of like a blush brush, nice and fat, has a big surface area. And we're just gonna do like a 3 around the perimeter of her face. So from the temples down to the cheekbones, and on her jawline. So like a big 3. Okay, that just brings warmth. The reason I like this bronzer, I also like Hoola by Benefit. The reason why I like these 3, they don't have a lot of shimmer. It's very matte. I don't like my bronzers to have shimmer. I like my highlighters to be the only shimmer on the face. Our bronzers, I just want to look sun-kissed without it looking super shiny. Do you see what I mean? Beautiful. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead using the same brush. We're going to add blush onto her face. I'm just going to scrape some of this product. Sometimes my blushes get a little bit of a film on it. I feel like my copper tone always does, so I just scraped some. I'm using like a nice brown color. It's called Copper Tone by MAC. I'm going to get Kirti to smile really big for me. So I'm trying to get her cheekbone, like her apples of her cheeks to really pop out. And that's going to be my guideline of where I'm going to place the blush. Basically, I'm just putting it on the apples of her cheek and brushing up. Okay, just like that. I'm using Copper Tone, apples of the cheek. And here I want to use matte colors. I don't want to do too much shimmer because underneath that we had a little bit of scarring, and if I use shimmer, it has some texture there. It's just going to bring that out. So we want to keep it matte as possible right there. Starting to come to life. Okay. Then we're going to go ahead and take another tapered brush. This is MAC brush, Morphe 431. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take nylon and do her inner corner tear duct, give her a little bit of that boost. Starting off with nylon, because we covered it up when we did the concealer. So we're just going to bring that back. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and do the highlight. My favorite highlighter is Lashkata. I'm gonna start with the bridge of the nose, okay? Shan, if you're watching, can you snap this part? So I just wanna show how she comes to life. Tell me when.
On it.
Okay, I'm gonna take Lashkata. I'm gonna take, this is just a shadow brush, like a pencil brush. It's MAC 219S, and I'm gonna go ahead right on the bridge of her nose. Right there. I'm gonna leave a little bit of a gap and then just do the tip. And that just gives her that little pointy nose look, like, oh, my nose is so cute. I was just born like this. Okay, that's done. Then I'm gonna take a softer, fluffier brush, and I'm just gonna add highlight, looking that way, right here, softly, right on her cheeks. Look at that. Amazing, right? So you can do your temples. I don't want to go here because I don't want to bring any texture out. I just want to highlight her cheeks. I'm going to highlight her décolletage area here. Okay. Anywhere you feel like she needs highlight. I'm also going to take my finger and do a little bit right above her brow. Softly. Just gives her that hint of light, and or on her lips right before I do her lipstick on the top, upper part of her lip here. And her Cupid's bow. And then when I do her, I know it looks hard, a lot on her lips, but as soon as I put a nude lipstick on, it's just gonna shine that much more. I'm gonna take that same pencil brush, and now this is where I highlight on the eyes, and this is the most important, right there, to give her that pop of color. And I always do that with the Lashkata. Whatever highlight you're gonna be using on her nose, that's the highlight you wanna put in the tear duct as well. It all blends. Look how she came to life. Okay, I'm just going to do this as well. Kathy, you are so beautiful. Thank you. Do you just stare at yourself sometimes? No. Okay. Just going to do some bronzer. Okay, so that's what she's not done yet. I'm like, that's it. No, we still have lips and lower lashes to do. So underneath her eyes, we could do individual lower lashes, or we could do a strip. It's completely up to you guys. I am gonna do our, I'm gonna do our lower lashes. I'm not gonna do side chicks. They're a little bit much. I usually save those for the reception, but for the morning, these new side kits, our new lower lash, they're like red cherry individuals. Instead of putting a whole bunch of individuals on, you could just do one strip, and it's super easy. You just put it on once, and it's like having 7 different individuals underneath your eyes. The best part about this, it comes with a clear strip, so you don't have to do black in the waterline to wear it. It's an invisible strip, so you could just do like a white glue on it, and it's the strip disappears. Okay, I'm just gonna grab my tweezers here.
Why do we put highlighter on the lips?
Just to make your lips look a little bit bigger and to give them a nice shine. Thank you, Ruthie.
It's just much easier that way. What other blush do you recommend?
Well Dressed by MAC. It's a soft pink one. It's one of my favorites as well. So I'm just going to do a clear coat. You could use Clear Duo. I'm just using a white glue that I have in my kit here. Any white glue. I'm just going to let this dry a little bit. And with white glue, once it dries, it's invisible. So I went ahead and applied a little bit on my side checks, no, shotguns. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that underneath the eyes in a sec. Okay, looking up. So here's her natural lashes. We're gonna go right underneath her natural lashes, not on top, but underneath. So get your client to look up, right underneath the natural lash, and then you're gonna go ahead and hold the outer corner and then the inner corner. So clear? What is that? Do you hear that? I do. It's close. Do you want to show everyone what that looks like? These are my favorite lower lashes, guys. So I've been using these pretty much this entire weekend, and they've made my life so much easier because now I don't have to do so many individuals, especially like individual red cherries. Now I just use one and it's done. I'm just gonna cut this one here. They were there, yeah. Shotguns. Here, I can give you some. Is that what they're asking for? Yep. You could take it out of the thing so it's not shiny. Now, if I were to do a heavier lash on top, like if I did trophy wife, I would use a heavier lower lash, and that one would be side chick. And we actually have a bridal lash. It's called, it's a bridal lash box set. And it looks like this, and it comes with one pair of trophy wives and one pair of side chicks. So the full upper and lower, it's a bigger box set. And that one would look better with the heavier lash. Okay. What other blushes do you recommend? Answer that. What shades of shadow would you use if your client was wearing a light shade lehenga, like a light pink? So I would use the same technique that I did today. Instead of using browns, I would use soft pinks. So the Huda Beauty New Nude palette has a lot of pinks in it. I would use that. So just build it up the same. Do a light pink, and then a dark pink, and then a medium pink. So it's always dark, medium, light. You could use this color combination, like this technique with even blue. You would do blue on the lid, and then like a soft blue, and then maybe a brown in the crease. As long as it's dark, medium, light, you could apply it to any colors. So I'm gonna do the same thing here. Go underneath the lash, drop the lash like that, grab the outer corner, make sure it sticks, and then do the inner corner. Show everyone really close. And don't worry, the glue will dry clear, so you can't even see the strip. It's really pretty. So for the lips, we are going to do a nude. I'm going to get her set on first. Now we could do a red, we could do a nude. It all depends on your client's mood. Can I get you to put the earrings in, and I'll do your tikka? Did you miss anything after highlight? Yeah, lower lashes. We just put on our new lower lash. It is, instead of doing so many individual lashes, like I used to use extra short red cherries, now we just made a lash that looks like a whole bunch of extra short red cherries on one strip, so it's easier to do, and it's called Shotgun. It's our new lash. It's super easy to use, and that's all we did. Add a bindi. So you guys tell me, red lip or nude lip? What do you want to do, Kitty?
I don't know.
Okay, tell me right now, guys. Oh, you guys already love it, eh? But she's not even done, guys. Well, like, it is cutie. I literally could put, like, smear a whole bunch anything on her face and shit.
They want to see how you did the tikka setting on the back.
Oh, I did a crap job, guys. I just literally just put 2 bobby pins into the tikka. That's not how you do it. Shannon would have to teach you that. You have to hide it underneath the hair so you can't see it. But basically, I just took 2 pins and I went like that on the back. It looks like garbage back here. I promise you.
Nude,
It's
nude,
not even
nude.
straight. It's like crooked. Nude?
Red, nude, red, nude, 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 red.
Let me see your face. Let me see. I think let's do a nude. Let's see it. Okay, let's do nude, guys. We could always change it to red, worst case scenario. It's hard to go from red to nude.
So guys, you have to remember
Yep.
too, this is a daytime look, right? And the eyes are quite deep. So if you add a red lip to this, it might be better to do a lighter eyeshadow look. But because the eyes are so intense and it is daytime, that's kind of why we did nude in the waterline instead of black. I think nude would be better if it's someone who's going to be out in a park during the day taking photographs. But red's, I'm not saying red's wrong, but with a smoky like this, the red can be a little bit like, could be a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so let's sticking with that. We're gonna do nude. I'm using lip pencil in the buff, and this is just a brown color. I like to do my lip liners with the lip brush, like I'm doing right now. So I usually use a dark stain or a lipstick to line my lips. I hate using lip liners. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Just using a pencil here to shadow in on using a brush to take my lipstick, paint in my lip line. You can overdraw if you want to. I find most of my clients don't like it anymore. Like overdrawn lips are kind of out, and none of my clients have asked me to overdraw in a very long time. Like a little bit is good, but not crazy. Don't you find that, Shannon? Right now, no one's asking me to overdraw their lips.
I know, and it was such a big trend last year.
Yeah, last year. Or like
this is a question that we've never got from a client. To give the look of thinner lips, what would you do? I think everybody likes big lips, but what would you do in that case?
Foundation. Because when you have bigger lips, you actually have a perimeter of where your actual lip line is, and normally it's kind of, I know what you're talking about. If your lips are too big, you have to foundation the entire thing and then draw on the inside of the lip line with the lip liner. And be very careful, because sometimes you could, even though you foundation it, you could kind of even see where the lip is. So you have to be like super careful on like completely covering it up, and even use a concealer if you have to. Because you don't want to see like the darkness of the actual lip. Okay, I just did the entire lip with the lip liner, and then I'm going to use the light color on the inside. My favorite one is Sen Nudes or Raj Kamadi. I've been using, because I want to bring a little bit warmth to her face, I'm going to use, actually this is Raj Kamadi, I need Sen Nudes. In the buff. So Sen Nudes and Raj Kamadis look very similar in the sense in their packaging, but they're not. That one is Raj Kamadi, it goes on brown. This one goes on pink, which is Sen Nude. So I want a little bit of pink. I'm gonna do Sen Nudes. It's a lot lighter. If I were to do the Raj Kamadi on top of in the buff, it would look very brown. It still looks very nice. I did it this weekend. It's just a little bit more of a darker look. I would use that on someone with a little bit of a darker complexion too. Okay. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of gloss. And I really like MAC. It's called Love Nectar. It's just like a nude gloss with just a bit of shimmer. Because this is going to dry very matte, because our the lipsticks, our creams dry matte. But if you want to keep it wet, just add a little bit of gloss just into the center there. Then we're going to go ahead and set her face with a mist. I'm going to use Morphe spray. And this will start oxidizing and bringing out the natural oils. Okay, once that's done, you could set her face with Urban Decay All Nighter. And this is hairspray for the face, and it just locks everything in. Okay, and then we would put the product on. I'm not going to get you to change her top, but I'm just going to put a chimney on top of her head so you guys get the full boaty feel. And there is my beautiful bride. And this is how I would do bridal makeup. What do you guys think? Do you guys love it? Like it? Do I use 2 setting sprays? Yes. So I like to use Morphe's setting spray, which kind of brings out all of the natural oils. And then I like to set it with Urban Decay finishing spray. You guys love it? Beautiful. Yay. I'm so glad. Yay. Good. And that's how easy it is, guys. Just follow the steps. Make sure you write everything down. And I am going to be teaching, our next hair, class is going to be our hair class. Shannon's going to be teaching the Greek braid, which is a really hard hairstyle to do, but I'm going to be watching as well because I want to learn it this time around. She just did it this weekend. It's beautiful. It's an awesome Sangeet look. And the next makeup look I'm going to be doing a 3D smoky. So a spotlight smoky. It'll be dark on the inner corner, dark on the outer corner, light on the inner lid. And after we're done here, I'm going to beg Kirti to come back and be my model. And that's not for another 3 weeks. But this is the bridal. I did this entire weekend, guys. This is the most requested look at Pink Orchid Studio. This is the one that people bring me the most pictures. And I swear to God, every time I do it, it looks different on everybody. So I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. I think I've answered all the questions.
There's a couple more. When you're making the lips look thinner, do you color correct under the foundation?
Yes.
Probably, right?
Yeah, when I did her foundation, I did cover her lips as well. Like what I was doing.
But when you know you're going to make the lips look skinnier, would you use color correction underneath the foundation?
Yes, you can. If her lips are super dark, like purple, then yes.
Okay, and then some other good nude lipstick shades. Do you have any particular ones from other brands as well besides Rajkumari and Sun Nudes?
Those two are my favorites, but Velvet Teddy by MAC is one of my favorites as well. But Velvet Teddy is exactly like Rajkumari, but Rajkumari is a cream and Velvet Teddy's a lipstick.
And creams the liquid lipsticks are easier for you guys to apply with a brush, and you can put it on a spatula. It's more sanitary, where I find like it's harder to scoop the lipstick off. So liquid lipsticks are the way to go, guys. And you can do what Harp did today and add a gloss where you need it.
Yeah, that's why we don't got kind of out of the lipsticks. They're not as sanitary and they dry up in your kit. It's hard. Everything looks beautiful. Hey, Sony.
Will the lipstick stay all day?
Yes, it will, because we did the lip liner throughout the entire lip. However, I do give my brides a lipstick touch-up, so I take out whatever I used into a little pot. I'll show you guys. You guys can get these on Amazon. They're like little lipstick containers, and you just fill it up with lipstick, and then you give it to them. But for our brides, you know, Shan and I are blessed enough where we own like the lipstick, so we just give our clients, this is one of the gifts we give. We give them a lip liner and a lipstick if I used it on them. That's kind of like our gift to them.
Gorgeous. And well, and if the brides are gonna though attack a plate of pakoras and you get oil on there, right? So you should warn your clients just basically avoid oil. And if they're gonna eat something oily, eat it with a fork and knife. It should last all day. But yeah, do provide your clients always with a touch-up, or let them purchase the lip color ahead of time.
Yes, purchase it ahead of time. You could tell them in the consult, but always give them tell them in their kit they should keep a straw in their lipstick, like drink with a straw, eat with a fork and knife. Try not to get oils on it. So guys, this is what it looks like when I'm done. There's my beautiful model Casey. And I just want to read some of the client. So guys, I'm Snapchatting you guys right now. So everyone write your comments. Love it, love it, love it. Kirti, you look gorgeous, beautiful. Looking forward to the next one. Great job, Harp. Harp, you're such a good teacher. I'm just making this up now, guys. But this is my beautiful model of Kirti. This is the look that I did, the bridal. Wow. Give me some apple. Okay, well, guys, that's almost a wrap. If you have any questions, please just go ahead and ask. I'm still going to be here for the next minute or two. If that was it, I thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for attending this class. You guys are so sweet. Thank you for taking the time out of your day and learning from me and spending the day with me and my beautiful model, Kirti. I love your teaching style. Thank you, guys. You guys are super sweet.
And guys, if you want to see a different makeup look, like I have someone here saying a question, if someone says they don't want a smoky eye. So this was our bridal smoky eye tutorial. But there is a gold bridal eye that can teach you guys. If you want to see it, can you guys speak up in the chat? And that's another bridal look that Harp can do a class on. But this one is the most popular.
The best way that I determine what you guys want to see is when I post this picture now on Pink Orchid Studio, I need you guys to go make a comment underneath there like, hey, Harp, teach this next. Because last time I taught on the base, I asked, like, what do you guys want to see next? And everyone wrote, like, this look. So that's why I taught this next. So when I post this picture, please go underneath there, comment if you guys enjoyed the class, what you guys want to see more of. That's how we know and we could engage what to do next.
And for making the makeup stay in place, guys, that's what the setting sprays are for. All Nighter by, which company is that, Harp?
Urban Decay.
Urban Decay? Urban Decay All Nighter spray will help it last all day.
Yeah, it's awesome, guys. It's like hairspray for the face. Sorry, I'm just finishing up here. It is hairspray for the face. It will, oh my God, you look so good. It will, it basically just makes, I suggest though, do it last. Like ask your client, are you happy with the amount of blush? Do you need anything else? Because once you spray that, I find like it does absorb into the skin, but it's like hairspray. You don't want to go ahead and now put more blush on top of it. That should be the last thing you do. It kind of seals everything in.
And if, like we had a bride yesterday, she said she cried, her makeup stayed in place. So if you follow all the steps, you're not going to get streaky tears. The makeup does last all day. But if somebody does cry a lot and the tears do roll down, there's really not much you can do if there's a line created there. They can pat it into place, like use their fingers, try to tap it back into place. But you know, once makeup has been moved, there's really nothing you can do because look at all the layers that we've created on Kirti's face. It's like a pearl. So if part of the pearl, those layers get wiped, you're going to see the skin underneath it. So tears themselves will not move the makeup if she's in trouble.
Huh? Who's in trouble? Oh, you were talking. I'm like, what? What lipstick did I use again? I used In the Buff by Vasanti. I used the lipstick as a lip liner, aligned her lips with it. Then I used Send Nudes by Pink Orchid Studio as the lips cream. And then I put a little bit of a gloss on by MAC. It's called Love Nectar. All right, guys. Well, I just want to thank everyone for taking this class once again. Thanks for spending the day with us. I think that's it for the questions. We've answered them all. I don't see any new ones popping up. And I just want to say thanks, guys. I love you guys. Thanks for your love and support always. We'll see you guys in next class. I don't know how to shut this off.
Bye.
Bye.
On the right-hand corner, you should see a thing that says leave.
Okay.
Ciao. Bye, guys. I'll still be in here answering questions though.
Oh, there we go.
Until they're all done.
End the meeting.